Good evening. It is 6:29, so we're going to start right on 6:30. And this is very exciting because this is our last and final wellness awareness mastery class. So there was 6 in total, and this is our final one. We will be coming back to these. They are not gone forever, and the booklet is there, and these are recorded so you can come back to them. But very excited to be doing the last and final one tonight, and a little bit sad because it's been so fun just spending so much time and delving into these. So let me know how you're feeling, how your day was today with a little emoji. If I could choose one for today, it's hard to sum it up in just one emoji. But I think I just have to do maybe like the little celebration face, just because I'm so excited about what's coming up in the HCA. And makes it very hard to sleep because I'm getting very excited with ideas and things how to make the HCA even better and more supportive for you. So tonight we'll start with just a little opening practice. We'll get into exactly what this wellness awareness aspect means. We'll go through the booklet, finish with a closing practice that is going to be very powerful in being able to connect with and really live your purpose and being in alignment with what you truly value and who you want to be. So it's a very powerful practice, and I can't wait to do that. That'll be more towards the end. And then I'll just close with talking about the free HCA Wellness Program that's being released on the 10th of May. So exciting. So I'll talk a little bit about that, and then also the one-to-one private sessions that I offer. And I'll talk to you about a client that I just had and their results and really what I created for them. So we'll start with tonight's final wellness awareness aspect, purpose, and practice. So let's start just by getting nice and comfortable where you are right now, right here, just dropping into the present moment, really connecting with where we are. Let's just take a deep breath in, feel the air come into your nose, and then hold it for a moment before letting it all out the mouth. Really connecting with how that breath feels as it comes in your nose. Take a deep breath in, the deepest breath you've taken all day. Hold it for a moment at the top, and then really gently and softly, let's let it out. And take one more really soothing, nourishing breath just to purely enjoy the breath. And in your own time, exhale it all out. And we'll just do a little movement to feel even more released and some freedom in the body and a deeper, smoother breath as well. So, what you do is you lace your fingers just like this, and we take it underneath the chin and we raise the elbows up, kind of keep the chin where it is, nestled in. Take the elbows up and you breathe in here, stretching all the intercostal muscles of the ribs. As you take a breath in, bring the elbows up higher, and then on the exhale, push the palms out in front of you, and you can tuck the chin in to really stretch into the upper back, the shoulders, the neck. Exhale. And inhale, we just take the arms up. Inhale, really stretch out of the hips and out of the spine, lengthen through the vertebrae and out through the shoulders as well. So lift the shoulders, elevate the shoulders, and my fingers are really pushing up towards the sky elbows nice and straight. And then we exhale, we take the arms down our sides, and my fingers are spread down. We can just repeat that just again. So lacing the fingers, bring them under the chin, take the elbows up, stretch the side of the ribs, inhale deeply, exhale, push it out with the palms, tuck the chin, spread the shoulders. On your inhalation, draw the hands up, the palms to the sky. Really lift up from your hips all the way through the crown, all the way out the fingers. And exhale, really slowly take the arms out, down beside you, letting them fall, letting them smooth the energy around you. Maybe take a roll of the shoulders. Beautiful. So, a part of living our purpose is that we can come back to center. We can return to that state of homeostasis, of balance, of equilibrium. That's really hard to say. So, this morning, the post on Instagram was about balanced living, and we can use the breath to come back to our center. And when we're in that really centered, really grounded, but open and relaxed state, we can really gain access to our purpose, and we can move into that higher aspect of us, that next phase of who we want to be. So, everyone has a purpose, everyone has unique talents that only you can express. And we're all different, and this is absolutely fantastic. We wouldn't want everyone to be the same. We want people, well, I believe that we really need to nurture people's unique gifts, unique perspectives of the world, and really help people to understand their place in the world and what they have to offer. So, purpose isn't something that we teach in schools. And as a school teacher, I really wish that we did. So, part of why I'm so passionate about what the HCA offers is that we look at health and well-being and we get into that deeper layer of purpose, because that is really what's going to help us have this holistic nature of well-being, and being truly well and happy and healthy is when we're living our purpose. So that's why it's such an important aspect in wellness, and why I can really work with clients or with people to first of all start the discussion about purpose, because as I said, it's not something that we teach in schools and that you were taught at university or at TAFE or at school from a young age all the way through to high school. Because what we teach is knowledge, and we teach specific subjects, and they have skills in the subjects, but we're not teaching people how to access themselves and learn about who they really are and how to tap into their talents and then be able to express them in the world and be able to live in the world expressing these talents in a way that helps other people. So, trying to find your purpose and live your purpose is a very selfless act, because only when you are living in that way can you really be able to help other people, and you can really share your uniqueness with the world. So, all that to say that we all have purpose, and it's just about unraveling and defining and creating this life that we really want to live, that feels really good. And our feelings are a very important part of living our purpose, because they, as I spoke about in the emotionality aspect, all about our emotions, they are indicators, and they are signals, and they are signs that help us identify when we're going towards our purpose, and maybe when we're pulling back and turning away, or when we need to take a step forward. So, our emotions are a key aspect of living our purpose. So rather than living a life where you're squashing your emotions down, we're really getting in touch with them and becoming mindful of them and allowing them to be there and using them to help us rather than to harm us or to frighten us. So that's where emotional intelligence really comes in as well. And as we can see, as we put all the pieces together, that all six aspects are really interconnected and they're intertwined and they radiate off each other and they influence the other. So when we work with one aspect, we're really helping all the others as well. So we started with the physical, which is the gross, like the largest, the what we can really see, what's really tangible. We started with the physical because it's easiest to understand. And then we moved into the mentality part where we started to look at our thought patterns and how we think and how that affects our actions and how we feel, which was the next layer. And then the next layer underneath that was our emotions, because they're a little bit more subtle. So we start really gross and then we're becoming more and more subtle, which is so exciting because that is where the real magic happens when we get to that innermost self. So our emotions were that next layer. And then we looked at spirituality, so how we feel connected. And then we looked at connections, which was our relationships with the world, with other people, and with ourselves. And when we develop that relationship with ourselves, then our purpose just kind of naturally starts to unfold and we become more aware of it and we can become more intentional with how we live, therefore creating more purpose, more purposeful life. So, what does it, when we think about purpose, it can be very vague. So, we want to make it a little bit more concrete and to have a better understanding. We can think about someone that is living their purpose and living it really well and in a really inspiring way. So, if you bring someone to mind that does that, this could be someone you know, or it could be a celebrity. And just think about when that person is living their purpose. It could be your partner, it could be your child, it could be a friend. Um, and when they're really living their purpose, what does it look like? What does that person look like? How's their posture? How's their voice projection? What's their facial expressions like? What are their eyes like? Are they bright and open and glowing and excited? And their posture, is it nice and tall? So think about how someone looks when they're living their purpose. They could be very, and their voice, it could be very strong and have that authority about it. So, what does someone look like when they're living their purpose? What does someone sound like? And we can tell when people really mean what they say and when they're really living their truth, which sounds so a bit corny, but it's true. When someone's living what's really true for them, you can just tell that it's so deeply set inside that none of the external things matter. So we're not getting swayed or pulled around as much by what's happening around us because we're so like a tree with roots so deep. You know that that's just true for you. So, a question to think about if we picture someone else, but a question to ask ourselves is this the life that I was meant to live? And we all have that at certain times. Maybe some people just go through life and without ever thinking about what it really means, or if they want to change, or if it could be better. But for most of us, because we're humans and we think and we ponder and we wonder, is this the life that I was meant to live? Is this what I was meant to be doing? And a lot of For a lot of us, that comes into or comes out of our job, our career. So we think, is this all I was made for? Is this it? And it's that grind of when you're going in repetitive days, repetitive times, doing work that maybe isn't as fulfilling. We start to ask those questions. And this can be really confronting, but it is so great and so meaningful because it puts our life on a different trajectory that is going to, as always, it comes back to it's going to make us feel good. It's going to elevate our health, and we're going to have better relationships, and our life is going to change. So that question, is this life, is this the life I was meant to live? Can be hard, but it can, if we look at it as something that's exciting, that change, we're taught to fear change. But I love that little cartoon of it's the caterpillar and the butterfly, and the caterpillar's like, you've changed, to the butterfly. And it's just, it's so funny because people that maybe you were associating with, and then you've changed, or you've grown, or you've developed, um yeah, they might look at you and you're like, oh, you've changed your hair, you've changed your clothes, or whatever this is. But when we look to the butterfly, like, how incredible, how beautiful they've got their wings, and they're all these pretty colors. And of course, in life, like, we're meant to change. We grow from a baby into our childhood, into teens, into adulthood, and then beyond. So change is something we can really choose to accept and to flow with and to get excited about and really use to our advantage, really. So we can choose to be an active participant in our life when we start to ask those kind of questions. And when we become active in our own life, we can start to pay attention, and we start to become present and become mindful to what's happening around us. And we really do start asking those questions of, is this what I enjoy? Are these the people I want to be around? Are these the conversations I want to be having? Are these the activities I want to be doing with my time, with my valuable time? So when we're asking those questions and we're paying attention and we're getting answers, and they might be in the form of feelings and emotions. They could be thoughts, and we can start implementing practices to really assist us in this. So we could be journaling. We might be journaling daily, just seeing what comes up. We could be meditating, or we could be talking to other friends that may be, or people in our life that may be there where we want to be, about what we're thinking, what we're feeling. So I think when we're being an active participant and we're being mindful and we're paying attention to what's happening around us, we can start to consider and think about, who is the highest version of me? Who is that person? And this can be really powerful because it can shift our perspective, and it can really broaden our mind and just open up our thinking in ways that we couldn't before. So, who is this highest version of me? There are incredible meditations out there, um, that you can do, and it can really just lead you into visualizing this person that is you, but it's your highest self. And we're never going to reach that person, because it's always going to evolve again, and they're going to change into another butterfly and then another butterfly, and we're always going to be evolving and changing into this highest version of ourselves. So it's not like something that we have to really get upset about or strain for or anything. It's just having that vision in our mind gives us something to really aim for. So, working with that highest version of me, what and thinking, what would they do in this situation? What would they say? How would they act? How would they behave? Even things like what would they wear, or what would they buy? What would really align with that person? And you can feel yourself starting to shift into that person when you bring them into your mind. And with really living our purpose, such an important aspect of that is finding some time to become still and finding some silence or just quiet times. Every day would be unreal of just a few minutes every day. And this doesn't have to be stillness as like meditating for 20 minutes on a cushion, but if that works for you, that's awesome. But you can find it in other ways, whether you're gardening or maybe you're doing some kind of creative project like writing or drawing or painting, or maybe it's going for a walk, just walking mindfully without doing it for well, it will help with fitness, obviously, and the physical side, but just walking just to give yourself that time to just become silent and quiet and present, and just to really take ourselves out of the busyness and all the drama and all the things we have to do and all of these things that come at us during the day. And we can get so caught up in it and so lost in it that we lose ourselves. So, just having that little bit of time of quiet with yourself, doing something that's really um, meditative to you, really helps us to get clear on who we are and who we want to be and what we want to bring in. And just really getting to know ourselves as well, who we really are without all the noise. Um, Another way, or in kind of working towards or working with living our purpose and stepping into that kind of arena, is it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to get uncomfortable, and that's a good thing. It's going to be scary, and it can be, and you can have fear come up because we're getting outside our comfort zone. If we want to stay safe, if we want to be sure and certain of everything that's coming up, that's going to happen in our life, we're not going to be uncomfortable, but we're going to stay the same. Or we're going to stay the same and things are going to come up that will force us to change. So, choosing to be able to be okay with being uncomfortable and being uncertain and just being in that space of, I don't know what's happening, is part of living your purpose and living that higher alignment and that other higher quality of you. So getting uncomfortable, getting outside your comfort zone, so easy to say, so uncomfortable to do. So that's why those practices like meditation and breath work and practices like yoga, because they help us be okay with what we're feeling. And so we don't have to run or distract ourselves if we're feeling fearful. We can just be with what it is and we can just breathe through it, or we can just release it, or we can become aware of it and just let it pass. Just know that it's going to pass and that good things are on the other side. And the beautiful thing about starting to really live and tap into your purpose and your unique expression, your highest expression, is that you get to share your purpose then. And when we share that truth, it's really going to touch people and we can really connect with people because we've shared all the layers and fakeness and like patterning and things like that that we've picked up on over our lifetime or lifetimes. And we can just be who we really are and we can just connect and then we can share. So, part of this is all about having faith and just leaping in and diving in and just we don't have to make big, massive changes. We can just make really small, tiny changes every day or every now and then. And that's going to help with that fear factor as well, just making little small changes. So, um, to the booklet that you can download on the website, it's the free health resource called Wellness Awareness. So you just put your name in and then you download it as a PDF and you can save that on your desktop, you can print it off, and it has a little bit about each aspect as well as 7 reflective questions that you can answer. So, reading from this, purpose and practice is what lights you up. Your purpose is what brings you more joy than anything in the world. Your purpose is what you were put on this planet to do. And your practice is intertwined with purpose, as it is the application and actions of your purpose. Your purpose is the why, and your practice is the how. You actually live a purposeful, meaningful, and joyful life. So, purpose and practice can have a significant impact on your health and well being in positive or negative ways. And when someone is living a life on purpose, you can tell. When their actions are aligned with their purpose, you can tell that that person is in their flow. They live with more ease, with more opportunity, more inspiration, more life, love, and joy. They feel calm and at peace within themselves. To be truly healthy in our body, mind, and soul, we need to be aware of our purpose and our practices. And purpose isn't one big mystery. Your purpose can simply be being kind to others, bringing joy to others, and helping others with a special talent or skill. Purpose brings meaning and direction to your life, and your practices are what support it. So there's 7 questions that can help us really start to start thinking about what purpose means to us and how we can really start to live more in alignment. So these questions, the first one is, what activities bring me joy? What things do you just really love doing? And what really makes you happy? So, and that's where that becoming an active participant and paying attention really comes into it, and that emotional intelligence. How am I feeling now? Oh, this activity, like this, I actually really love this activity. I'm going to do more, or I'm going to seek this out more. So, what activities bring me joy? And follow that. Number 2, what is an activity where I lose myself in time and space? And this is in an engaged way, not mindless distraction where you're just zoning out. So, where do you just lose yourself in time and space? What activity do you do where you could just do it for so long, or it's already been an hour and you just couldn't believe it, or you forgot about lunch, or whatever it is? That's when you're really in your flow state. Number 3, what do I do that brings joy and happiness to others? And this is something that actually makes you feel good as well. So you're not pouring from an empty cup, you're pouring that overflow to others where you already feel good about what you're doing, and then you're just helping others. So what's my favorite way to help other people? This could be with their finances, it could be with their help, with their health, it could be with their relationships, it could just be listening. Number 5, what activities do I do that support my mind, body, and spirit and keep me healthy? So, when we're living our purpose, we're going to feel really good in our body. We're going to feel really clear in our mind and happy in our heart. So, these activities that we're doing with purpose are going to be healthy in nature. They're going to keep us healthy, nourished, supported, strong. Number 6 is, what actions can I implement in my life that bring me closer to living my purpose? So, what actions, and these can be super tiny. It could just, if you really enjoy reading fiction, if you just really love that, maybe you could just start by reading a couple of pages every day, because that is something that is important to you and it makes you feel good. And then maybe once you've done that, maybe you could read to someone else. So we're just doing little steps, little baby steps to bring us closer. And our feelings are an indicator. What feels good, that's what we follow. We're kind of getting out of our heads a little with this one and dropping into the emotional body. Number 7 is, who is someone that is living their purpose that I admire? And again, like we were saying at the start, this could be someone that you know, or it could be someone you admire that's a celebrity. It could be a singer, whatever it is. Um, Someone that is living their purpose that I admire, and use them to look up to and feel inspired by and feel motivated by. Because there are some people out there living it, but there's a lot that don't, that just kind of decide that I'm going to stay safe, which is absolutely fine as well. But if you want to kind of step up, we need to look to those people that are already doing it and look to them. And in those times when we feel, when we're lacking motivation, or feeling unsure, or in one of those uncertain times, we have that person already and we can look towards them. And this could be maybe like following them on social media if that feels good and if it lifts you up. It could be reading their book, or if they have a podcast, or whatever it is, just following them and maybe finding some other people around as well that you can really look up to and that are going to have a healthy impact on you. Okay, so it's might go into a higher self practice meditation now. And this meditation uses this transformational process that I like to use, and is the acronym is IFIA. So IFIA, it stands for, the first one is I, and that means imagine. So we're visualizing ourself, our highest self, and we're engaging that thinking mind, which is very powerful. And then the next step is the F, which stands for feeling. So we start to tap into how that feels, and our emotions have such a strong frequency, and it really can make changes happen. So we start to not only think and visualize it just logically and kind of coldly, we start to engage the feeling as well of it and how it's going to feel when we're living that higher self too and living our purpose. How does that feel? And that's just going to really explode it and make it even more powerful. The next one is focus. So then we're really focusing in, we're drawing that attention in that kind of meditative state where we're combining the imagination with the feeling, the mind and the body. We're combining these together to be really focused. And when we're in that focused flow state, that's when we can take inspired and intentional action. So that's the last bit of that acronym, inspired intentional action. And remember that this action can be super small. It could just be starting to write things down in a journal. It could just be to start experiencing this feeling even more. It could be just to start visualizing this picture even more, or every day or something. So just taking little bits of inspired action, or it could be just a big, massive leap where you just want to jump in and just see what happens. And that usually pays off too. So that is that transformational process. And we're going to put it into a meditation so we can really get into this relaxed state, kind of like a hypnosis kind of state where we're just really open to suggestions and we're just letting like the day go. So we're letting like worries go, which they might come in, but then we just let them go and glide out. So we're not getting attached to them, they just flow in and out. So we'll just go for about 10 or so minutes, 10 or 15 minutes. So making yourself really comfortable. If you're doing something else right now, you can perhaps come back to this at a later stage and just listen for now. But wherever you are, just becoming really comfortable. You might choose to lie down so you can become really relaxed. Or you might like to stand or sit, find a comfortable position. And wherever you are, just seeing if you can get 1% more comfortable. So this could be allowing the shoulders to relax down the back a little more as they just become a little bit more heavy and create a little bit more space under the ears. And just glide down the back. And from our shoulders becoming a little more relaxed, we can notice that the chest muscles start to relax a little more. That the belly can just release here. It doesn't have to hold onto anything more. It can just smooth out. And it can just move up and down with the breath. We might even notice that the belly is rising with the inhale and that it's falling with the exhale. Just noticing this movement here as the belly expands with the inhale and it falls with the exhale. Then we start to move down into the legs. Those big thigh muscles just start to unwind. They become really heavy, really relaxed. This goes down into the calves, down into the front of the shins, into the ankles, and into the feet. As the feet become really soft and really relaxed and a little bit more heavy. As the feet relax, the arms begin to relax a little more. And the fingers just curl and soften. This extends up into the neck, up into the top of the head, down the forehead, down into the eyes, the cheeks, and the jaw. And in particular, the jaw just begins to unwind and soften. And so too does the throat and the neck, leaning back on the shoulders, whole body feeling a little bit more released and at ease. And the mind, taking its cue from the body, begins to unwind, begins to soften. Inside the head, the brain just becomes soft. And it lets go and it unwinds as all it has to do is just take in the words that are coming. Doesn't have to think, doesn't have to do, Just receiving the words as they come into the mind and down into the body, knowing that you are safe and supported in mind and body. And in this relaxed state, we bring to mind ourself, an image of ourself, but we realize this isn't us now. It is us 5 years from now. And this us in 5 years from now, they are sitting so at ease, so comfortable in their own skin. They look so relaxed, yet they look so confident and so content. And you even have a little smile on your lips, like you know a secret. And you're just meeting yourself 5 years from now with that knowing smile. And you notice that their eyes are glowing, hair is just full vibrancy, the skin glows as if from within. Just noticing what clothing they're wearing, how their hair looks, if they're wearing shoes, and how they're sitting or standing. And you just meet each other, and they are looking at you with such warmth, with such knowing, and such understanding and kindness. So you take a step forward to meet your future self. And here they ask you to sit down across from them in a comfortable chair as you sink into the cushions and relax back into this chair. You feel the emotions. You can sense how your future self is feeling. And what you notice is that there is a sense of calm and peace emanating from them. This feeling starts to melt into your skin and into your body. You're just noticing their feelings. There might be a sense of pure joy, of bliss, of a deep sense of happiness, just emanating from your future self. And you start to feel this, and a smile starts to come onto your lips. And you both start to smile. Perhaps even a little laugh here as you start to connect with this future version of yourself. And you notice that they want to tell you something. And you notice as they inch forward to whisper words just for you. You lean in, your future self speaks the words that you need to hear now. And if your future self's words are unclear or not there, just know they will make their way to you when the time is right. And taking them into your heart and knowing that they're true, that this future self is you. And just bringing to mind while you're in this comfortable chair, sitting next to your future self, it comes to you what small action, what next step you are to take in the next few days or the coming weeks. This knowing of an action, of a next step to lead the way to your future self comes to you now in the form of words or a picture. And if these words or pictures don't make sense right now, just knowing that they will become clear in the next few days, over the next weeks, that they will lead you in the direction of your future self. With your hands over your heart, you thank them. And with their warm smile, their warm, knowing smile, they embrace you in a warm and loving hug. Just taking these messages, taking these images and words and feelings, and these next steps with you now. And just taking a deep breath in and then releasing it out. Just noticing where your body is in contact with the earth beneath you. If there's any sounds around you, any clothing against your skin, or if you can feel the breeze, the air temperature. And just basking in this message. You may choose to write this down later and take it with you. Just knowing that you're an active participant in your life and becoming really mindful and attentive to what the world presents you in the form of opportunities, of thoughts, of situations and events in the next few days. And when you're ready, you can blink open the eyes and you can roll the shoulders, knowing that you've just completed a higher self practice, a very powerful practice, using the transformational process of a fear. And just returning to that higher self version whenever you need, in times of uncertainty or fear, or even when you're feeling good, just bringing in that image, bringing those feelings, and asking, what is my next step? And whether this is clear or not at the time, but just knowing it's right because you've tapped in and you've connected to that deeper inner knowing part of you. So we have 10 minutes before we finish our time tonight for the final wellness awareness aspect. And I'm so grateful that I got to share these practices and these teachings because they are what's going to make your health really meaningful to you. And so you can take these steps to make the changes. And just bringing just the practice of awareness, which is what it's all about, is enough in itself. Just knowing. And that's where, when we read through these questions, just the fact that we've read them and that we've taken them on board and we've taken them into our minds, and just knowing that they will come up at the right time throughout our life and they are influencing our decisions that we make and they're helping guide us into the right directions. And when we mess up or forget or we're tired or whatever it is, we know that we can give ourselves forgiveness and we can just let it go because we're human and these things happen. And just having that awareness that we do know the difference is the practice. So, to finish up, just going to talk about the free wellness program that is released in 12 days. And it's released on the website. So if you go to the website of the healthcoachapproach.com.au, it's going to be there under store. Now it's to purchase, but it is for free access. And it has 4 modules. And these modules are all tried and true practices and teachings, and they are movement. And we get into 2 different types to bring balance to our movement. So we have strength